Yo, Raider Nation, I'm live right now. Oh, let me turn my lights on. Calm down a little bit. I'm still pissed. So, they fired AP. Let's see, we got anybody on yet? Where are we? All right, I'm not bringing any links up or any of that other crap. I don't even know where to start right now. Oh, Jesus Christ. So big news. AP's been fired. Still, I know I was just on with Rundown and said some of the things I said, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit more. Hey, hang on, keep getting text messages like crazy right now too. Let's see. Hang on, folks. Just give me 1 second.
To the live as.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting it right now.
Okay.
Say hi. You're on live right now.
Yeah, hi guys.
Hang on. Let's see. Here it is. Oh, yep, there you are. Shit. Bear with me. There we go. All right. So, AP fired. Even after the press conference that was given yesterday, why they let this poor man. I know some people aren't going to like it, but why let this poor guy go out there and do what he did yesterday by, very positive and upbeat press conference by AP yesterday, followed by news today coming down that they're going to fire him. So I guess that meeting that he mentioned yesterday, that he was going to get together with Telesco and Mark Davis and talk about the future of the team. Well, obviously the talk about was him not being part of the future of the team, which I think right now is it's a travesty what just happened. I don't. Why didn't they just fire him Sunday after the game? Why did they wait until today to do this? It was a home game Sunday. They had to have already known they were going to do this. Why did you just not save face and, pretty much humiliate him by putting him out there yesterday with a press conference, talking about, going forward and what he should have done, could have done, what he wants to do. They should have just done this Sunday. Game ended. It was a home game. It's not like you had to fly back across the country to come home and then let him go once, they're back on, Las Vegas turf. They could have done this Sunday. As soon as the game's over, sit down with him, talk to him, and let him go at that point. Like the Patriots did with Mayo. The game was over. The fans were still filtering out of the stadium, and he was already sitting down talking to Kraft, and they were letting him go already at that point. Why prolong it and push him off until Tuesday of all days? They could have done this yesterday before the press conference, but technically they should have done it on Sunday. That this should have been a decision made as soon as the game was over. It just shows the instability of this team. And hang on a second, I screwed up my TV. This shows just the dysfunction in this team by doing what they did by shit canning him on Tuesday when they could have done this Sunday after the game. What's up, Arnie? How you doing, brother? I know you're always around here when I'm on. See, do you believe AP got set up by Twitter? It feels like it. It really does. Again, this is something that should have been done prior to today. You know, at least at the point of before the press conference yesterday. You know, Bill O'Brien. I hope not. I, I'm still like in a state of shock. After I get off with rundown, I went outside for a cigarette just to kind of calm down. I'm almost done with my first coffee. I got another one lined up already. Actually, I'm gonna switch it now because this one's so watered down from all the ice that melted from earlier. But they didn't. It's almost like they did him dirty by letting him go today instead of doing this on Sunday. Um, Hang on, my desk is a mess over here today. Um, because now there's so many more questions now for this off season. The off season after that press conference yesterday, I felt good about going into the off season with what we were going to have to look forward to. As far as we knew we were going to have to replace a defensive coordinator. Now we got to replace a whole coaching staff from head coach all the way down to the water boys. I mean, everything's going to be brand spanking new and different coming up now. So this just shows the instability in this team. I mean, this is now, we're talking how many coaches we've had in the last 5 years now. You've gone from Gruden to Bisaccia as an interim. Then you hired McDumdum. He lasted a season and a half. AP takes over as interim, gets the head coaching job for this current season that just finished in 2024. Then he gets let go. And now we're right back to square one again. How do you plan to retain players when you can't even keep a stable coaching staff? It makes it harder for free agents to want to come here. Like, if you have any aspirations of bringing in top-notch free agents and you keep showing this instability in your coaching, the ability to keep a coach longer than a year and a half, because that's pretty much what it's been. Gruden was let go not because of what he did with the product that was put on the field. That was more of a investigation into the Redskins and their emails, and they happened to find something that he sent a long time ago when he wasn't even a coach, and that was his downfall, unfortunately. So now all the names are going to come out as far as who we should do, which coach we should be looking for, who's the best fit. And I always said this, if AP was let go, there was only one coach I would want or I had in mind that would come in and hopefully be the guy, and that was Vrabel. But that could all change now with the fact that the Patriots fired Jared Mayo. So let's see. Brady's interviewing Bill O'Brien, Matt Patricia, really? Oh, Brian Flores and Joe Judge. I don't want any of those, to be honest with you. I don't think they're what I call, and some of my friends in the area here, we call them retreads. It's exactly what they are. They're retreaded coaches. Now, I know Vrabel's a former head coach, but he's a former head coach that comes with experience. Comes with experience winning with an organization that was kind of dysfunctional itself. He's got respect, but yeah, you're right, Arnie. He is probably going to end up back in New England. Ben Johnson's not going to come here. You're not going to get some of these high profile. I said it when I was on with Rundown a little while ago. You're going to be able to get somebody like Gruden will bite the bullet and try and come back because it doesn't matter to him what happens to him here. Like there's no stakes in it for him if he comes back. You know, anybody else that comes here, do you really want to start your coaching career coming here as a head coach? You know, it's not a desirable team to come to right now. The only thing that makes it anything worth thinking about coming here for is the amount of money we got in salary cap. So you can bring players in. Hopefully, they want to come here. The high draft pick that we've got this season. I mean, other than that, the ability to coach guys like Max Crosby, Brock Bowers. You still got question marks at quarterback. You've got lack of wide receiver talent other than Jacoby Myers. Your offensive line, you've got a stable center with JPJ. You got a good right tackle in um, Glaze. Your left tackle's okay for now with Miller, but you're going to need a replacement sometime soon. So your only weakness on the offensive line is you're going to have to look at what you want to do with your guard positions. Um, your defense, it was salvageable this year. You know, So let me just look at the chat here. Sorry. Let's see. What do we got here? Best case scenario, Brian Flores. Worst case, Bill O'Brien. I don't want either one of them. Hey, Jeff, don't need any of those Patriots retreads. Vrabel would be the only one I would consider. You're absolutely right. I don't want any of those other ones. I don't want a Bill O'Brien. Um, Flores, no. Um, just, I'm still in shock over this. Is Mark Davis the worst hiring on over? Yeah. I mean, Al Davis was kind of that way, to be honest with you. Al Davis was, for people that weren't really around to watch Al Davis operate this team before, he became the Al Davis at the later stages of his tenure as the owner. Um, he didn't take no shit, basically. When he brought you in as a coach, he expected certain things from you. He expected you, number one, to win with whatever it was given to you for talent. Al Davis always had a heavy hand on players that were picked, and you as the coach just had to deal with what was brought in. And some coaches were able to make the best of it. Some excelled, some failed. Dennis Allen failed at it. Lane Kiffin failed at it. Um, what's his name? Shanahan failed at it. Successful guys were like Gruden excelled when he was here until Al Davis and him butted heads, and it was time for him to go. Art Shell in his first stay with us, you know, was good at it. John Madden, he took a big chance on bringing John Madden on as the head coach, and look how that turned out for 10 years. Still still the highest winning percentage in that tenure versus any other head coach in the history of the NFL. Tom Flores comes in as the head coach, gets two more Super Bowls for us. He excelled. I mean, look what he did with some of these players that were cast offs from other teams and how he turned them around. It's not like that anymore. You know, it, you can't just pick up a guy that was let go for some of the reasons that we picked up in the past and turn that around. Coaches are a different breed, players are a different breed now. You know, so let me get through the rest of the chat. So I'm trying to calm down and get my head together. Yeah, Vrabel's going to New England. I don't see him going anywhere else. If he doesn't go to New England, I'll be shocked. But I do have an actual reliable source that looks like Gruden is supposed to be coming in for an interview with New England. Whether he sticks with that now that AP's been gone or let go, I don't know. We'll see. But let's see. Will be interesting to see who gets interviews. Oh, definitely. I mean, because you're going to know who gets the interviews. Um, God, let's see. I'd like to see Frank Smith get an interview. He's a former Raiders coach. Yeah, I don't think Gruden would come back. Too much ego. Brady is pot owner. See, I don't think the ego's going to affect Gruden. I think Gruden is one of the coaches that would take the chance to come back here with as dysfunctional as we have been with the coaching carousel, because at this point he's got nothing to lose. You know, when he went out as a coach, he was kind of, you know, like the sacrificial lamb, I guess you could say, or he left because of other reasons not pertaining to his coaching or issues with the team. So, I mean, I definitely could see Gruden possibly coming back. I mean, that's going to be one that everybody's going to be kicking around, and I know some people are going to want him back. I just wish AP was still here. I really do. I wanted to give him one more shot. Let's see. What elite OC would you want our QB room? AOC on. I think the first name can stay. The other two got to go. Ritter's not going to cut it. I think as soon as we can get Minshew off this roster where he takes the least salary cap hit for us. Hang on. Where he takes the least salary cap hit for us. That's the goal, I think, would be. You're not going to take him in for another season. Absolutely not. Ritter, he's probably going to go bye-bye himself, too. Let's see, what do we got here? Robert Saleh for head coach. He was not the problem on the Jets. I agree. He should get at least an interview for a head coach. I'd rather have him as a fit for our DC, depending on who comes in as our offensive coordinator. I mean, our head coach. I just hope if it is Gruden that reason they did all this, because Mark Davis wants Gruden back here, because I think that's the intent. I don't want Gruden bringing back some of the head coaches or some of the coaches he had with him the last time he was here, because everybody hated them. Let's see. Could Doug Peterson get an interview? Possible. It's possible. Solid made a political statement. Yeah. Take a chance. No, absolutely not. Somebody asked that last night on a show I was doing it. No. No. Nick Saban's one of those guys that is a great college coach. He's not for the pros. He tried it once. It didn't work. He didn't last. He got out. College and pro coaching ranks are completely different. You know, he excelled in the college ranks because of how you can recruit players and bring players in, especially now with the whole transfer portal. That's totally different. You know, in the NILs, I mean, you've got different type of personalities in college now than you did years ago too. That's why I think Nick Saban got out in the first place. I'd be surprised if he even goes back to the college coaching, but no, I don't want him either. Your thoughts on Gruden third time around? I really don't want him. I don't want to have a third go around with him. Granted, I know, like I just said a few minutes ago, his second time around when he left, it wasn't because of disagreement with the ownership or coaching decisions. It was because of something off-field related that he did in an email that he wasn't even a coach in the NFL. He was an analyst on was it ESPN? Gruden would he would love Bowers. What's up? Oh, sorry. Yeah, he would love Bowers, and I think he could really use. Oh, Jesus, come on. You could have just asked. I would have given it to you. Sorry, guys. Rudely interrupted here. Yeah, I mean, you would treat him probably just like you did Waller. I mean, use him in the same manner, but that's besides the point. Let's see. Just don't let Gruden draft any. Yeah. But the problem is, if we do bring in Gruden, he's going to want total control. He's a control freak. You know that. That's what he wants. I just don't think he's the right fit this time around either. You know, Reggie Clement was a D-line coach. Bring back the real defense. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to even suggest now what we do with OCs and DCs, because We still got to figure out what's going to happen with the head coach first. You know, my talks last night on the I was on, was it twice yesterday? Jumped on in the early afternoon, and then I was on last night too. Um, eh, these are different conversations now than what we were 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, it seemed upbeat and positive with the direction that we were going to go in because everybody was under the standing that it looked like AP was going to stay. And that's all the conversations were last night. Now all of a sudden, it's a complete opposite. Now it's like we're all thrown into. It's like we all just got thrown into a wood chipper, and we got to wait and see what spits out the other end. It's the only way I could think of this. We just went through a wicked fucking buzzsaw where the team announced that they fired AP, and I don't like it. I don't like the way it was handled. I think it was handled kind of classlessly, if you ask me. You you we lose the game on Sunday, so that in itself was bad enough because now we just went 0-6 in our own division, with the last game being in the Chargers. And then comes Monday, AP still hadn't been fired. He comes on and does a afternoon press conference where he looked about as relaxed and as calm and collective and happy as I could see him in any press conference he's been in this season. And it gave everybody hope that he was obviously going to stay here. That's what it sure as hell seemed like as of the end of that press conference. And he ended that press conference saying that, I'm going to go meet up with Mark Davis and Telesco, and we're going to talk about the future of the team. Well, little did he know the future of the team wasn't going to include him in that talk, which, again, sucks dick big time. Um, and then they announced this afternoon, probably about an hour or so ago now, hour and a half, that he got fired. And now you see, my live shows that like when you look on YouTube and you can see, who you subscribe to and who's on live. That went from nobody being on live to all of a sudden like 6 or 7 popped up in a matter of seconds after that announcement. I saw Rundown was on, so obviously I went right to his show because he's one of my guys that I follow, and interact with a lot, and I respect what he has to say. Even him being a youngster. I respect what he's got to say. I mean, he's got a different take on things because he's he's a younger Raiders fan, and he's very passionate about this team, and I love his takes on stuff because he gets very animated when he's on, and I appreciate that. That just shows that the youth isn't lost on this team. It makes me feel good knowing that, some of these younger fans are that passionate about this organization and what it means to be a Raider. Um, I'm still trying to put my head around all this. Like where do we really go from here? What does this do for the future of the players on this team that we've all grown to like and had hopes and aspirations that we were going to be able to retain most of them, or the ones that we want to retain? How many are going to want to stay here with a whole new regime coming in again? You know, let's just take Max Crosby, for instance. He's drafted by Gruden in his regime, right? Sees Gruden walk out the door, sees Bisaccia take over, sees Bisaccia get removed, has McDumdum come in as his head coach, sees McDumdum get removed, sees Antonio come in as his interim coach, then sees Antonio become the head coach who he lobbied for, and now he's out after surgery and an injury, and he's sitting at home, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, hey, the guy that you lobbied for to be the head coach is now gone now. So now you're going to be starting all over again. How much confidence does that player have to come back and do what he's done for the last few years, to give his all to this team and put everything out there on the field? You know, how much does this want or make him help that decision that he says, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to keep going through this bullshit. Because how is it guaranteed that whoever you bring in is going to be here more than a year and a half before you let him go because he's not doing what you don't think he should, he's not doing what you think he should be doing. So you're gonna it's inevitable. You're gonna lose players. Players are gonna walk off, or they're just gonna not wish to come back. Um, yeah, if he brings Gunther, if it's Gruden and he brings Gunther back, oh, for the love of God, the Raider Nation is gonna lose their complete mind. They're gonna go fucking bullshit over this. I hope Graham gets an interview, but he's been around this organization now for a few years. Do you think he's really gonna want the head coaching job, knowing that he doesn't know from one day to the next if they're going to stick with him or not? If I was him, I'd be running as far away from this organization as possible. After being in house for this many years and being under or defensive coordinator under so many different head coaches in the last couple of years, I'd be running for the fucking hills. I'd be getting the fuck out of Vegas. You know, let me go interview for a head coaching job somewhere else. Shit, I'll even go be a defensive coordinator somewhere because I can do the job. I would be out of here if I was him. I wouldn't want to come in here as a head coach. You or I would want to go and be a head coach or a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator. Yeah, because what do we got to lose? We don't know jack shit about you know doing that job. I mean, we can talk like we know what the fuck we're talking about. You know, but I wouldn't want to be put in that position if I'm an experienced NFL coach, whether it be no matter what position coach you are. Would you want to walk into this dysfunctional organization? Absolutely not. Why in the hell would you want to put yourself through that shit? How is Max in our locker room feeling now? Who knows? I don't know if any players have put out anything since the firing of AP. I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked on Twitter, Instagram, any of that shit since this came down. I came on YouTube real quick, saw that rundown was down, jumped on his show with him real quick, and then I fired it up and got on here because I just had to keep venting and give other fans and YouTube subscribers that follow me and follow the group that I usually hang with to, voice their opinion, give you guys a platform to come on and, interact with me and get your word out there, get your point across because no one else was on right now. This is the luxury of me being home all the time. I can just jump on and do shit when something like this happens because everybody else is still working. So I guarantee tonight there's going to be a shit ton of shows that are going to be popping up tonight. I know Leo's already talking about getting on and doing something tonight. I know Rundown wants to. I will definitely be. The rundown's already offered for me to jump in, so I will be on tonight um, for sure. I'm going to be somewhere in this mix somewhere with these other content creators, adding my 2 cents and getting involved in this because this is something, me being a Raider fan for 40 plus fucking years of my life. I'm 55. I've been a fan for actually almost 50 years, really. I'm coming up on it. I've been a Raiders fan since 76. So I've been around this team for a long time. I've seen the really good times. I've seen the mediocre, so the good times again. And then I've seen the complete shit show that this team has been since we went to the Super Bowl in 2002. So I've run the gambit with the ups and downs of the history of this team. You know, so if anybody's felt pain and misery and joy and excitement, it's me. I've been there, and I see one of my guys from the club is in here. Carlos, what's up, brother? Carlos is actually one of our board members for the Booster Club. He's one of our executive directors. So, Carlos, thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate you coming in here and checking me out here and checking us out. So, Carlos, this is what the club does. This is the channel that I made for the club to help promote the club. Today, unfortunately, not really promoting the club right now. I'm kind of promoting the ability for Raider Nation to get on and speak and interact with me and get their feelings heard. to discuss what just happened today. I want to go back to Pig's post here. AP looked like the AP of last season in that presser. Yeah, he did. He looked great yesterday. I mentioned that yesterday on the shows I was on. That was the most comfortable and relaxed I've seen him since he's been with this organization. Especially this year. All those press conferences earlier in the year, he just looked dejected and burnt. I think a lot of it yesterday was the fact that he was relieved that the season's over. And he can start switching gears towards next season. Little did he know, like he said at the end of the conference, now I have to go and meet with Telesco and Mark Davis and discuss the future of the team. And like I also said, unfortunately, he didn't realize that the future of the team wasn't going to include him. And a great injustice was done to this man by letting him go out there and have this press conference yesterday. And shout out to him for coming out there yesterday, even if he knew ahead of time that this was coming or had a feeling this was coming. You didn't see it in his body language with the way he was handling himself because he looked like a guy full of confidence and ready to go for next year. He really did. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it again. I know it's going to be painful now that he's gone. Anybody that was hoping he was going to stay, go back and watch that press conference from yesterday and tell me that he didn't look like the guy that knew he was going to be here going into next year. Okay. So it's like they did him a great injustice by, first of all, not firing him on Sunday. If you were going to let him go, should have done it then. Don't let him go out there and have a press conference like he did yesterday and then shit can him the next day. Are you fucking kidding me? That was bullshit. Telesco will draft best player available at 6. Will Johnson bring back number 24 jersey. Second round will be Will Howard. Third round, Cam Scatterbo, Jalen Higgins. AOC will start. Uh, who knows now? I mean, AP had already said that AOC 12 was going to start next year. So who the fuck knows what's going to happen now? I'm not even going to start speculating on who's going to start next year, who's going to be here next year until we know what the fuck's going on with the head coaching situation. So any discussions that we've had about where we end up in the draft, who we're going to pick, what we want to do in free agency, that can all just sit to the wayside right now as far as I'm concerned. I will say that from now until the time we finally pick a head coach, because until a head coach is selected, you don't know where they're going to go. Because obviously whoever comes in as head coach, everybody's going to know who that person is. They're going to have their take on what they've done in the past with whatever position they were in before. So everybody's going to have speculation on what they're going to want to do for a player. Excuse me. Hang on, my throat's already getting dry. I'm already getting heated again. I apologize. I'm still trying to break up this cold. All right. So, until that coach is decided on, what's going to happen, there's no sense in even talking about free agency, draft, and all that other bullshit right now, because right now that's all it is. It's all just bullshit. It's empty words as far as I'm concerned. There is absolutely no meaning to any of it at this point. So right now, the main discussion on any of these goddamn chats should be just talking about coaches and what we think, what our thoughts are, what the general feeling is, who's coming in for interviews. That's one thing we can't talk about is once it's announced who's doing interviews, who's talking along that line. Anything other than that, anybody else wants to talk about anything else? What happened just now? What the hell is this? Breaking news. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that wasn't going to be the case, but Raiders are retaining GM Tom Telesco per source. God damn it. I was hoping they were going to shit can him after this, too. Because I really don't know what the hell's going to happen here with him. Just. Hang on. All right. Yeah, no, nothing new. Just Telesco staying. My phone's been blowing up while I've been talking and rambling here. I got to catch up with the chat. Let me see here. I think players will explore their options, take the best offer, and if it's similar offers, return to Vegas. Not, yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, um, players are definitely going to be exploring other options. They're going to have to at this point because there's so much uncertainty right now with what's going on. You know, anybody that had aspirations of staying here, because of the coach, that just monkey wrenches got thrown into that bullshit. I just want to go back to Arnie's here too. He will probably draft the best player available. He's not one to move around the draft. I just hope, in all honesty, at number 6, if Genty's still there, I would not be surprised if the Cowboys come. I know I said I wouldn't talk about the draft. I wouldn't be. I just want to address this one thing, and then I'm not talking about the draft anymore. The rest of the draft can go piss in a hat. Um, if at number 6, if Genty's still there and the Cowboys come calling to move up to that pick and give us some other picks, I'm taking it. I'm taking it because Genty's got Cowboys written all over. That's a Jerry Jones type of move there. All right. That being said, I'm moving on from the draft. I'm not talking about the draft until we hire a head coach. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I'm going on record right now. I'm not talking about the draft. I'm not talking about free agency. I'm not talking about who our starting quarterback's going to be. I'm not handling any of that shit right now. I just want to talk about the coaching situation, who's coming in for interviews, who's a good fit, who's a bad fit, who do we like, who do we not like. I'm on that train right now. And that train's pulled out of the station and it's halfway across the country already, as far as I'm concerned. All that other shit's still sitting back at the freaking train depot waiting to board right now. We'll hit that one later on. That's another train ready to come and hopefully soon. But again, this is another thing that puts a dampener on us picking a head coach. If we've got any aspirations of hiring any of these head coaches that are still coaching on a team that's in the playoffs, we can do distance, like online interviews, but we can't physically have them come in for an interview. We can't talk to them until their teams are eliminated from the playoffs. So anybody that wants to say Ben Johnson, you ain't going to be able to touch Ben Johnson until if the Lions make it to the championship game or the Super Bowl, you're not going to be talking to him until after February 7th is the Super Bowl, right? You're not going to be talking to him till then, you know. So Ben Johnson's not going to come here, so everybody can get that name out of their mouth because that ain't going to happen. I can't even imagine him wanting to come here. Oh man, this one is rough. It is rough. It really is. It just so much has transpired in the last 48 hours. Unless Mark plans to trade up and get Shador higher coach. I'm moving on. Not talking about it. So much turmoil. Yeah. Sorry, Ani. I know I usually field all your questions, but I'm not talking. I can't handle the draft right now. All that is until we know what we're doing. I hate shutting down your comments and your questions because your questions are usually pretty fucking good too, and you fire them off, and I love that. Patrick Graham going to Jags with Brian Flores. Yeah, I don't think Patrick Graham's coming back. Only must high pay free agents, Blaine Morgan. It's even the free agents. I mean, we can kind of talk about them a little bit because I think that does kind of tie in with what's happening here. Because how many are still going to want to be here now? How many are still going to want to be part of this? You know, I sorry, I'm just reading one of the chats. See, the Turners are going to more than likely. I mean, I've heard that rumor for the last few weeks that at least Scott Turner was going, possibly wanted to join up with Belichick in North Carolina. So we were going to lose them anyway. Now that AP is gone, there's no way either one of those two are going to stay here. I can't imagine them staying here. I really don't. Let's see. Yep, hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like and subscribe, guys. I appreciate it. We need all the follows and anything we can get going here. Let's see. Minshew getting back to Colts for 7. Yeah. Maximize it. Yep. I'm sorry, Arnie. I'm not doing it. I love you, brother. Yeah, it is, Carlos. It's dark day. It sucks. It sucks. And here we go. I knew you were going to show up in here, Cat Daddy. Hell yeah, PS is gone. Why? Why? Who did you want instead? I know I'm a little behind on the chat. I'm trying to catch up with everything. Let's see. I'm the biggest Raider fan right now. Lame ass PS is gone. So you like instability. You like constant change. You like chaos. Then I guess is if you're a fan of what's happening right now and instability, you're a fan of you know bad decisions over and over again. And I know you're probably gonna say, "Well, yeah, AP's a bad decision," but is he really though? Was he really? AP went on his shield. Yep, starter jacket and all. Matt, yeah, that jacket was kind of hot yesterday. I want one. Mark and Tom are cowards. Yeah, they really should have let him go on Sunday. They really should have. I'm surprised they went that far. Pierce is going. Yeah, great to be a Raider fan. Love it. Well, like I said, if you like disorganization and chaos, and then you're in the right fucking place. Other than that, go be a Chiefs or a Chargers fan. I know you said that the other day. You'd rather be one of those fans. So I hate to turn away fucking subscribers and followers and shit, but you know, you're taking happiness in the fact that someone just lost their fucking job. That's and a job that a lot of people wanted them to stay on with, including players. So now that also means we're going to possibly lose players. So yeah, it's a smart move. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That shows intelligence. Thanks for stopping in. Doors over there. Actually, the door's right behind me. And you can go. Tom T will lean towards whatever the coach's style is when drafting. Yeah, and that's exactly how it's going to go. That's why I'm not talking draft right now. Not even going to entertain anything. I will talk free agent as far as what's on the team now, who we think's going to stay with us through this bullshit, and who's going to want to fucking run for the hills. Because there's going to be players that are free agents that aren't even going to entertain an offer from us that probably would have, you know. But right now, why would you? Unless whoever they bring in is who you want to play for, then by all means, you know what? I'm taking the hat off. That's it. I'm getting so heated over here. I'm fucking burning up. I don't think JPJ and Bowers was given without AP's influence. I don't know if I understand how you're wording that. I don't think JPJ and Bowers was a given. Never mind. I didn't read it right. Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm sure he had a big heavy hand in drafting them. And thank God we did. I mean, this past draft was a home run on the first 3 picks. When can you say that about any of our last drafts? Where we hit 3 in a row like that. I mean, that just doesn't happen. It doesn't. Um, Sorry, I just keep trying to go back in here and hang on. I'm trying to just move around and do so many things here. I'm trying to just double check for any additional news that pops up because I'm sure there's going to be more going on with this. I was kind of hoping my boy Chris Raiders was going to be on. All right, so what do we got here? Telesco bringing in Brandon. Oh, good God, no. Fuck no. Let's celebrate Pierce's going. Yep. Whatever. Losing Hobbs, Marring for sure. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's going to be guys that are going to leave. Some guys that we want to stay here. Raid Nation this morning, even though AP lost 10 straight and 0-6 in the division, all the locker room loved AP. Jack Jones will be uncontrollable now. Yeah, again, he had the locker room, to a point, I think. Even though the wins and losses didn't show it, but these guys still went out there and played their last game. I don't know. Sunday's game was kind of an anomaly. I mean, we had no running game, none whatsoever. You know, you didn't have much depth in the running game in the running back room to begin with. Effects of other covers. Yeah, again, Cowboys call. I'm taking it. Other variable. Who are you must have coaches after him? I honestly, to be honest with you, I don't know because what I had hoped for a few weeks ago, saying that if for whatever reason, if he was let go, I would hope that Vrabel would be the head coach. I was kind of expecting the Giants to fire Vrabel. I'm shocked that they didn't, but they're retaining him as their head coach. I would have liked to have Dayball come in as the OC because he's a heck of an offensive coordinator. Just look at his past history with what he did in Buffalo. With Josh Allen turning him around and making him what he is now, pretty much. And a lot of people don't know this. Before he was with Buffalo, he was a tight ends coach in New England. And the players he had to deal with then were Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. And what do we have right now? We've got a Brock Bowers and we've got a Michael Mayer. I'm not saying that they're Gronk and Hernandez, but Brock Bowers is close to or could become a Gronk. And Gronk's even said that he thinks that Brock Bowers has the potential to be even, as good as him, if not better. Come here, girl. No, the puppy just came in. Come here, baby. And I'm definitely not saying that Hernandez or Mayer is as good as Hernandez. So that's why I was really pushing for him. And Robert Saleh coming in as the defensive coordinator. And you tell me right there, those three coaches wouldn't be a heck of a workup for us. But now that's all for nothing now at this point. Let's see. What was your thoughts on Todd Monken? Don't know enough. If I don't know about a coach or don't know enough about a coach, I'm not even. I won't comment because I'm not that type of person where I'm just going to pull something out of my ass because I don't know about him. I don't know enough about Todd Monken. I really don't. I would have to look into it. I don't have a clue. Marcus and us are putting AP through. Yeah, he is. It really is. I mean, that was just not cool. Not cool at all. Let's see. Cat Daddy posted another thing. Here we go. Carlos, what coaches are there to hire? Carlos, right now, I mean, there's still Vrabel is not hired, obviously, but I mean, there's a good chance. I would have to put it at about a 75 to 85% chance he's going to New England. If he doesn't, I'll be shocked. But he's not going to jump at that job. I mean, they still have to do their due diligence. Just like any other team that's looking for a coach, they have to enact the Rooney Rule, bidding, coaching search process. So they're still going to have to interview minorities for that position. So it's not like Vrabel's going to come in for an interview and they're going to hire him on the spot. They can't do that. So he will still be able to come in and have interviews with us. And if what we offer him is better than what the Patriots are going to be willing to put out there for him, you can remember, you got to look at it this way. And I know I said I wouldn't talk about the draft, but this does tie into this too. You're going to look at what is there to offer from the team when they're looking for a head coach. So let's start with New England because they got a earlier pick in the first round than we do. So if he walks into the New England job, he's got a early pick. I mean, he's got the number 4 pick. They've got over 120, 130 million in salary cap. So he's got a lot of money to play with in free agency. He's got a lot to look forward to with that early pick to, help mold this team to what he wants to do as a head coach. But then you look at us. If these are the only 2 jobs he interviews for, which I'm sure he'll interview for others because there's 6 out there now. We're almost in the same situation as New England. We don't have as much money available in the salary cap as they do, but we still have the number 6 pick. So that is also enticing. This is the only way I would talk about the draft and free agency at this time, is because that is also enticing to a coach that's interviewing for the head coaching position for either one of these 2 teams. or any of the teams that are picking early in the draft that are looking for a head coach. It just so happens that we're the two that everybody's looking at right now. I know Jacksonville's in that mix there too. So you're going to look at those variables, so that has an impact on who we have access to, who thinks this is a good spot to come and jump on board and be the put their name in the hat for the for the position. So with that being said, well, again, we're still in that wait and see mode. What Carol? I know Carol's name has come up. I'm not opposed to that because he is an extremely experienced coach in both ranks, college and in the pros. You know, his only downside when he was a coach in the NFL was when he with the Patriots years ago. This is like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was before Parcells. And it wasn't a right fit for him at the time. He went back into the college ranks, had great success there, then came back into the pros and was great. He had good success in the pros. I'm not opposed to him at all. Yeah, and you're right, Carlos. There's such a good chance. I mean, the writing's on the wall that it looks like he's probably going to end up there. He's going to have more options with New England based on what I just explained with the higher draft pick, the earlier first round pick, the money in the salary cap for free agents. He's going to have more flexibility, basically, than what he's going to have. I thought she came back in the room again. What he's going to have to work with. So, let's see. Rob Lobby landed this year, even with the injuries, excellent coach to keep for Max to be happy. Yeah, and again, that all depends on who comes in as our head coach. If AP stayed and Patrick Graham was going to follow through with not re-signing with us or staying with the Raiders, that's who I was going to hope would be moved up to our DC, would have been lettered if we keep it in-house. But now all that's out the window now. Any thoughts on 12 players we signed to future contracts? I mean, there's always thoughts, but again, until we know the head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, know the offensive scheme that we're going to be looking at, defensive, how we're going to handle it, depending on the strategy of whoever's hired as the defensive coordinator and, whoever the head coach is. All that is a discussion for a later time at this point. This is nothing that we can really get into the meat and potatoes of right now. Unfortunately, Carlos, I have a bad feeling that that's where this is all going. I don't want it to go there. I really don't. But I think that's where it's going to be. That's how this is going to line up for us. It's a scary thought in a way because I really, really don't want to have to go back down that road again. It wasn't successful when he was here the last time. He had too much control. He really did. I thought Mayock was going to be a good GM just because I know he knows players and he's good at evaluating talent. Well, apparently not, because they went and drafted Leatherwood. You talk about a bust. Oh, good God. Only way someone salvage this is to sign Flores and PG comes back. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't even know right now what the plan would even be. Like, what type of direction do they want to go in? Gruden can't take a coaching job until he meets with the commissioner. Yeah, true. I mean, I know that's not solved yet either, so that's a wait and see. There's Carroll, Johnson, Vrabel for coaches. Out of that group, the only one I really, really would want would be Vrabel. But again, you really think we're going to get Carroll, huh? Again, I'm not opposed to it. Vrabel would still, in all eyes, all honesty, would still be my first and foremost option. Oh, what do we have to offer as a team? Salary cap, six pick, Rowers, GP. Yeah, and that's just it. That's part of that enticing part of you know bringing getting a head coach in here based on those intangibles. Where we pick, what we got for salary cap, the players on our roster now. You know, the development of the players that were rookies this season. I mean, there's bright spots with Max, Bowers, JPJ, Mayer, Jacoby Myers, DJ Glaze. You've got bright spots that a new head coach can build on, and with salary cap money, and with the sixth pick, and if the new head coach and Telesco can get on the same page and work together, that will also be a big difference too. Let's see, we got 23 free agents that we can re-sign. Are we now a rebuild, or retool, or tear down, or start over again? Again, all that's going to be decided based on the head coach. If whoever comes in here as the head coach thinks that they can salvage with what's here now for talent and re-sign these, pieces to this puzzle, and not have to do a complete tear down and just kind of do a semi reboot or retool, rebuild. But if we got to tear it all down, can Raider Nation and the fan base handle tearing it all down again? I Look, I'm going to be 55. It's been 40 something years since I've seen us win a Super Bowl. 40 something years. I ain't got another 40 something years in me. Because 40 something years, I'm going to be 95. There ain't no fucking way I'm making it to 95. If I do, it's a goddamn miracle. I mean, I'm not 100% healthy. I'm not a skinny in shape dude. I'm a big guy. I have health issues. I ain't gonna survive for that long. I can't make another 40 years. If it takes us another 40 years, forget it. So I mean, I want to see something within the next. I'm not saying I want to see us win. We're going to win a Super Bowl next year or the year after. I mean, I still think we're 5+ years away from it at this point now. This sets us back even more. This really does. I know I made the comment that when we hired McDumdum, that set us back 5 years from the moment he took on the job, just because I knew he was a horrible coach and he was going to cost us, and he did. He took a team that was a playoff bound team, or a playoff caliber team, and pretty much fucking dismantled it. He threw that team through the wood chipper and just took the pieces that were left over, added some other bullshit to it, like Jimmy Garoppolo. Anybody that thought Jimmy Garoppolo was an upgrade from Derek Carr is a complete fucking football moron. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think about me or disagree or whatever. That was not an upgrade, not even close. Um, what is Tom Brady's role as a minority owner? Final say or not? Nobody really knows what exactly how much input or influence he has. Like, his voice is being heard. There's no two ways about it. Is he going to be a vital part of what the decision is going forward? Oh, I'm sure it is. You almost have to respect, what he's got to add to this. I mean, he is a minority owner because he does have a stake in this team, albeit a small one, but he's going to have some involvement. And I think just of the fact of who he is and what he's done in the league as a player, and I mean, let's put it this way: people don't like Tom Brady. I can't stand Tom Brady as a player, and being a former Patriot, I can't stand him. Um, but he's part of Raider Nation, and we got to deal with it. It doesn't mean if I saw him walk into my house right now, I wouldn't punch him in the face, because I still don't like him. Fuck him. But now that he's part of Raider Nation, I know that's painful to say, and I know people don't like that either. You know, we got to kind of deal with it. He's not going anywhere unless he sells his shares, but I don't see that happening. I think he's got aspirations to possibly become an even bigger, stakes owner in this team at some point. When Mrs. Davis is gone and Mark owns the team and the team's left to him, what he does with that team, I'm sure Tom Brady's going to have a huge say in that, or if not, be involved in taking over a majority of the team. So I think he's going to have a big say. Is it worth it if we get Archman next year? I'm not even talking about that yet. We need to see change in the next 2 years. No exceptions. O-line is a must, and then QB. I agree 100%. We got to see improvement, but again, this team's on the verge of getting torn down again, depending on who comes in as the head coach. Because whoever comes in is going to change they're going to change to what they want to do, how they want to do things. This is this offseason just changed in such a way in the last 2 hours now since he's been let go. Going into today, after yesterday's press conference, I thought this offseason was going to be a little bit easier to start having conversation with on live chats and doing stuff like this, being that AP was going to be here. He was going to continue with how he wanted to do things. Kind of had a feeling for what he likes and what he doesn't like. Now that's all just been thrown right out the window. We're all starting from scratch again now. We're all scrambling here to start our thought process onto where we go from here. First and foremost, the reaction to AP being fired after his press conference yesterday. So that's the first thing, is everyone's overall reaction to this shock, because that's what it is. It's a shock. I really didn't expect this. Anybody that says, "Oh, I knew this was coming," you're full of shit. Because especially if you watched the press conference yesterday, anybody that watched that press conference yesterday, there's no way you walked away from that thinking that he was probably going to or walked away saying, "Oh, he's fired." The body language, he did not know ahead of time. I could tell you that right now, based on how he was. He was too relaxed. He was too upbeat and too much into talking about the future of what he wanted to do with the team. I think he got totally, if anybody that watches Survivor and they talk about blind sides, this was a blind side. This was without a doubt a blind side. There's no way he knew this was coming. I don't believe that this was something that he could foresee happening. So let's see. Under my nope, that's not the one I wanted. Punch Tom Brady in the face preview. Yeah, I would right now, because if he had anything to do with this, I would. I just can't stand Tom Brady as just. Ugh. Some people don't like him. Period. Whether you live, no matter where you live. For me, and probably for majority of the guys that are in women, ladies, that are in the New England Raider Booster Club, don't like Tom Brady just because of us living in New England and having to deal with listening to him and seeing him. Sort of like if you lived in KC, but you're a Raiders fan, how much you despise Mahomes. Like, I despise Mahomes probably more than Brady now. Whereas for the longest time, it was Brady. 20 years of Brady hatred is just, it's stuck to me, So, yeah, I don't like Tom Brady. Again, got to deal with it. He's a part owner of the organization. There's nothing else we can do about that. So we're stuck with him, whether we like it or not. We can complain about it. We can cry about it. We can bitch about it. Still would punch him in the face. Let's see, under Mark Davis, we went to commitment to mediocrity to just lose, baby. Yeah. Or it's more like just confused, baby. That's what it feels like. It's just, we had the just tank baby shit during the season. And I think the best sign I've seen so far this year was this weekend at the Chargers game, where the guy's walking around with the sign saying, "I'd rather be 4-15 than a Chargers fan." Yeah, I would. and Chargers fans will be like, well, you know, at least we're making the playoffs. Yeah, and you're going to lose. So what's the difference? Whatever. Let's see. Will Telesco and Mark Davis have presser to explain the firing? I hope so, because I want to hear them work out of this bullshit. I want someone in the media that's there at that press conference to fucking ask them, why did you not fire him on Sunday after the game? Why did you wait till Tuesday? Why did you let him come out and have his press conference yesterday and say what he said yesterday and then turn around today and let him go? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the explanation for this. Anyone else chime in and tell me if that's what you want to hear also, because I want to hear why. You give me the reason why you let him go and why you did it the way you did, because this is disgusting the way that this man was treated. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit who the coach was. For you to do that to a coach after he comes out and throws his heart out there yesterday and is talking about the future or what he wants to do with this team and everything, and then he just walks into this meeting with you and you blatantly just walk up to him and pulled a stone cold Steve Stunner on him, kick him in the nuts, and then just throw him to the fucking ground. I mean, come on. That's a load of bullshit. You like that, Leo? I threw a little wrestling reference into that if you're watching. I'm just so fucking pissed over this. Going back to the days of overpaying free agents. Yeah, that's what it's probably going to come down to now. It really is. Let's see. Ben Johnson should get a blank check. Try to keep Patrick Graham. I don't think you're going to see Ben Johnson walk into this. Why would you want to tarnish your reputation? I wouldn't. I wouldn't be coming here. If I wasn't a Raiders fan and I was a coach of another NFL team, whether it be head coach, OC, DC, whatever, there's no way in hell I would want to take a chance coming here right now. For what reason? Until they can show that they can keep stability on this team as far as in the coaching ranks and show the willingness that they want to move forward and better this organization, why would you want to come here and stake your name to that, especially if you have aspirations to go on and do great future things in the NFL? This is only going to tarnish your record if you come here and you're here for a year and a half and they fucking let you go because they're not working with you or people aren't buying into the way that you want to do things. You know, why would you want to take that chance? Which is why I say, if they've got aspirations to bring Gruden in here, Gruden is the only one that I think would take that chance because he's got nothing to lose at this point. He really doesn't. He's already been tarnished because of how he went out when he was our coach last time because of that whole situation. If he's looking for another chance to get back into the coaching ranks, this is the chance for him. And this is why he would jump at that opportunity to come back here again. So if they interview him and they feel as though it's the right time to bring him back, he will take that job. I would not be surprised if he takes that job. This is his only chance of getting back into the good graces of the NFL coaching ranks. No one else is going to take a flyer on him right now. I'm telling you. They can say they're going to bring him for interviews and everything, but no one's going to take a fucking flyer on Gruden right now because of his past history and what transpired, which is the same reason why no one else would want to come here as a head coach unless we make it so worth their while. You know, it's going to break the bank. So here it is now again. We're now paying another coach that's not even on our staff, another head coach that's not even on our staff. We're still paying Gruden. We're still paying McDumdum. Now we're still going to be paying AP. So we got 3 coaches that we're still paying salaries for that aren't even part of the organization. You know, do they bring Gruden back and let him finish out the rest of that contract that he was signed for originally? So it makes it worth the while for what we've paid him? Who knows? You know, I just have this bad feeling that it's going to be Gruden. And I know some people want Gruden, but I just think that's who it's going to be. I think our best bet is Saleh, maybe Carroll. I like Saleh. I'm not opposed to either one of those. I like Saleh better as our defensive coordinator, to be honest with you. But again, even that, we're gonna have to wait and see whoever's hired as the head coach. I really believe that's the situation right now. One of those could be, you know, there's so many questions now. There's so many questions. There's so many different directions that this team can go in. But how many of those directions are going to be, or paths are going to be hit with roadblocks? Meaning coaches that don't want to even interview, even though we extend an interview offer to them, that don't want to even think about coming here. I'm telling you, Ben Johnson is not going to want to interview. I think waiting for him is going to be a waste of time. Why would you want to come here? Let's see, saying that's very disgusting. Yeah, it is. Can Hondo or Vinny? So hard questions to mock. I'm not sure if I understand your question. Can Hondo or Vinny O question is asked? I gotta skip that. I don't know what you mean by that. Raider Nation needs an explanation. Yeah, they do. That's why I want them to come out with a press conference. I want to see Mark Davis up there. I want to see him squirm as to why. Why? What's your reason behind this? Like, give us a reason. Come right out and say it. If it's because you want Gruden back, then fucking say it. If that's the first person you're going to bring in for an interview, then fucking admit it. Just come right out and say it now. John Gruden, head coach, Callahan, OC, Gunter, DC. Dude, really? Deuce Gruden is the strength coordinator. He's been here this whole time since Gruden left, so I don't think he has much of an impact as far as on the coaching side of things. I mean, it's a strength conditioning coordinator. You know, never heard anybody say anything bad about him. Don't want Callahan, and definitely don't want fucking Gunther back here. I don't want Callahan. Callahan never should have even taken over when Gruden left back in 2002 or 2001. That son of a bitch cost us that fucking Super Bowl. I believe that till the day I fucking die. We lost that Super Bowl because of him. No two ways about it, because he's a dumbass. Didn't change the audibles. How stupid can you be? Going up against your former head coach. Who came up with the audibles? Who played the scout QB for the whole week leading up to, or 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl? So when Gannon was calling the audibles, defense knew. So spilled milk. I don't want to cry over that shit anymore. Chucky's back in Vegas. Might as well trade for Carr also and sign a Mark Cooper. It's gonna be like a fucking reunion. Like right now I'm watching what is this? What show am I watching here right now? This is pardon the interruption. And one of the things on the list, they got the Raiders down at the bottom. Right now, they're a couple away from it. So I'm kind of waiting to see what they say when they get to the Raiders one. But I'm so tired of this. Just the inability for us to keep coaches. Hold it. I'm just curious to see where we're going to go now. How do we move on from this? How do we move on from feeling so good yesterday to being so let down? So, some people say, "Oh, you're all butthurt over over losing a head coach," and I'm not so much upset about or butthurt about losing a head coach. It's the wishy-washiness and the instability of this organization that's got me fucking pissed. It's got me just totally so miffed over this whole goddamn situation. Which is why I want to hear Mark Davis and Telesco get on and say, this is why. This is the reason why we moved on from him. Why it was so imperative that, you know, we gave up on him, and why we don't want to stay with him. It's just it's bullshit. You know, I want the true explanation as to why. Why did they feel that they needed to move on in this manner? You know, embarrass the organ. In all honesty, this is an embarrassment to the organization by doing what they did. People can agree with me or disagree, but it's an embarrassment to the organization and to the fan base. It's a slap in the face to the fucking fan base of this organization. We follow this team. We're passionate about our team. You know, look at the fans that follow content creators. Like Arnie. Arnie follows me no matter when I'm on. I can always count on him to come on and ask questions and interact. I see him on other shows. I talk to him when I watch other shows. Him and I are in the chat together. Him and I have a good, banter back and forth, and it's always positive. You know, it's the passionate fan base that gets screwed in the long run. Just like today. That's what takes the hit. It's the fan base that takes the hit. It's a slap in the face. Yeah, I know there's some fans out there that are happy that AP's gone. Why they feel that way, I don't get it. Like Cat, whatever his name is, that was on earlier. That's a supposed Raiders fan. He's happy that AP got fired. He's all for it. I give me an explanation why. You know, I mean, are you for dysfunction and total just you for dysfunction and disorganization? Because if that's the case, then you're in the right spot. If you're a fan of that, then you're following the right team for that shit. You know, if you want any type of stability and continuity going forward, this isn't the team to follow right now. Absolutely not. This is the team that lets you down time and time again. And today was a letdown. It was a big letdown. This is not the direction any of us saw this going. I know there's still a lot of content creators out there that are happy that AP got let go, but I don't understand why. So AP was set up with Minshew and Getsy's scheme with a poor running back room. It's a setup. That's how it feels right now. Definitely does. I mean, that running back room, not only was it poor, I mean, it was non-existent pretty much the entire season. The only bright spot in the running back room was when McCormick was given his chance to shine, and I think he did. He played 3 games before he got hurt and done for the season, and every game he got better. Every game he increased his rushing average, his stat line as far as how many yards he got in the game. And the only other bright spot in our running game was 2 weeks ago when Abdullah played and he broke 100 yards. The first running back second time this season that we collectively got over 100 yards and out of a running back room. I gotta take a cough drop. My throat is just shit right now. So the running back room was garbage from the get-go. Fortunate for us. I know I said I wouldn't talk draft. There's a lot of running backs in this draft. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, I mean, the future is there for running backs with us, and through free agency. Hi, Gracie. Come here. Come here. Come here. You guys can't see her. She's a little small lab. She's short. She's 5 years old, but she's not that big. Plus, my desk is actually kind of high up. What was I saying? Yeah, this whole season just feels like they didn't do enough to bring, especially the running back room, and then the whole Minshew thing. But still, I mean, the big news obviously is the whole AP getting shit canned. All right. Um, let's see. Did you see Pivot Podcast or Jamarcus was talking about the Raiders? No, I didn't see that. I'm sure whatever he said probably wasn't good. He's going to blame us for anything and everything when he's just what he is. We never should have drafted him in the first place. Again, that was an Al Davis pick. Al Davis saw him throw a ball from his knees, like I forget how many freaking yards, and he just fell in love with the kid. There was a time where the background and really looking into players was not handled properly. Um, now the now NFL is more of a business now than it ever was before. Between TV deals and you know the face of these players and endorsements and now there's a lot more vetting going on with these players before they're picked in the draft. So you really got to do your homework on these players nowadays. You can't just go by pure talent. You got to look at their backstory. You got to see how well they are at certain things off the field. Those fans are haters on it. Yeah, those are the fans that want AP gone. They just no rhyme or reason. Uh, Pain, no pride, no poise, no passion is what the real Raider fan. But yeah, I'm just so disgusted today. I really am. Do you trust Mark Davis to turn this situation? No, I don't. I really don't. I don't trust Mark Davis. Um, Let me see here. What's this one? We should have picked Megatron first pick. Let the Lions. But yeah, I wish we would have. We still needed a quarterback then, though, too. But I, I just missed the Raiders. What they talked about? Shit. Let me see if I can go back. I want to see what they said. I'm gonna unmute it for a second. Hang on. Um, yeah. Again, I just don't know where to go from here with this. It just, anybody else is in here that wants to add comments, go for it. Any questions, thought process. Who might be a good fit. I mean, again, everything's still up in the air until we stop bringing. Oh, here it is. They're talking about Antonio. It was just a quick little thing about the Raiders. Yeah, they were just talking about how the Raiders fired AP and now they're going to look towards Shador and Deion Sanders. Oh, good God, save me, please. I'm still not sold on Sanders, but anyway. Um, uh, I've been on for an hour and a half now. Um, Probably going to get off for a little bit, rest my voice because my throat's freaking killing me. Um, I definitely will be on again later on today. I'm sure I'll be on with Rundown and Leo at some point tonight um, to discuss this more as a group. So everybody, stay tuned. Keep an eye out. I will post it on the Facebook page when we plan on going on. So anybody following me on Facebook that sees it there, hit my notifications if you subscribe to me. Into notifications because I will stream it on my channel also. So anytime I go on with them, I usually stream it, except for today with Rundown because I just jumped on so fast. I didn't even have a chance to set anything up. Let's see. Tom Brady, Richard Seymour, Mark Davis, Tom Sawyer need to interview everyone available and experience for the job. Leave no stone unturned. Yeah, I agree 100%. I just don't want Telesco involved. I really don't. Let's see. Oh my God, pardon the interruption. Mentioned yeah, that's what I was just watching. Fair. That's why I had to rewind it. The ESPN's talking about it right now too.
about the Raiders' decision to part ways with Antonio Pierce. Yeah, Kevin, this has been buzzing for the last month or so around the league that this might be a situation to watch. Antonio Pierce met with team owner Mark Davis today, and Davis made the decision to move on after just 1 year, I guess a year and a half.
Yeah, they're talking about why they moved on.
Saddled with a municipal quarterback situation this year with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, and obviously they did not win enough games. But going forward, they decided that if it is in fact bringing in a new
Yeah, so this is going to be our 12th head coach since 2002. That's fucking ridiculous.
Tom Telesco, who's actually hired after Pierce was last year, will remain in that role, we are told.
I can't believe that we're going to stick with Telesco after this, too. Why are we not getting rid of both of them? You know? Well, that's why I got on here, too. You know, I know fans that follow me and you know, like yourself, Arnie, that, you know, want to get on and talk and, you know, add their 2 cents to everything. You know, you guys need an avenue too. You know, I mean, this gives you a chance to interact, you know, get your thought process out there, get your feelings being heard, you know, because, you know, this situation is not good at all. You know, and now they're showing Tom Brady. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't want to leave it on too long. Get flagged for copyright bullshit. Um, I, I'm still in a state of shock of why this happened. Let's see. Is his draft class success? Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's interesting what they said with drafting a new QB. They want a new coach to develop him. Well, they're gonna get that. They're gonna get a new quarterback, a new coach now for sure. They're gonna have to. You know, and now it's just a matter of who. I'm telling you, it's gonna be Gruden. I've got this deep down feeling that it's gonna be Gruden. You know, they're gonna treat this just like the Patriots are gonna treat Hiram and Vrabel. You know, they're gonna bring other people in for an interview. They're gonna do the Rooney Rule thing. Um, but in their mind, they're already like it's going to be Gruden. And I'm telling you, Gruden's the only one that is going to put his reputation on the line again with us, based on the fact that he's going to get right with the NFL again. You know, with the fan base, NFL fan base, not just Raiders fan base. Raider fans overall, on no matter what team you root for. You know, he's going to try and earn that respect back. You know, and this is the only way he's going to be able to do this. I don't think any other team's going to take a flyer on him based on his issue that forced him out of the coaching job a couple of years ago. So I honestly, and I'm going on record right now, that I think it's really, in all honesty, going to be Gruden. You know, I don't want it to be. I'm not saying that's who I want. I'm just saying that's who I seriously think it's going to be. Come with you, hear yeah. You hear that? Yeah, I'm knocking on wood. I yeah, I again, I don't want him back. I really don't. But I'm telling, I just think that's where this is lining up, 100%. You know, we've got no shot at we got no shot at Vrabel. I think that went right out the window the second Mayo was fired. Um, Ben Johnson's not going to come here. Cliff Kingsbury is not going to come here. He's going to stay right where he is. He's got a great thing going in Washington right now with the Red. And yes, I'm calling them the Redskins. I always do. I don't call them the Commanders, or whatever the fuck they are. Um, Cliff Kingsbury's not going to come here. Again, people are not going to want. Coaches are not going to want to come and stake their reputation for this organization. I just can't see it. You know, which is why by default, Gruden's going to fall right into this job. And when I'm on tonight with the other guys, I'm going to say the same goddamn thing, that he's going to fall right into this job. This job it's his for the taking. It really is. Anybody wants to disagree with me, go for it, because we can discuss it. I'm fine with that. Again, I'm not saying that's who I want. I do not want him, but that's where this is going to end up, without a doubt. And I agree. I think he's super overrated. He was good his first time around with us. Burned his bridges with Al Davis. Al Davis let him, traded him away to Tampa in the middle of the night for a cheeseburger, basically. Let's see. Gruden is not allowed to have an email address. Yeah. Yeah, he can only physically write letters that have to be shredded or burned as soon as the person reads them. Let's see. The weekend of the draft, Gruden stays home all 3 days just to call rookies. Yeah, I don't want him involved in any of that shit. The way ESPN put it, Raiders looking for offensive-minded coach. And guess who that would be? I'm telling you. Because if they're looking for an offensive-minded coach, it ain't going to be Vrabel, because Vrabel's a defensive guy. What's Gruden? Offensive guru, as people say. Telling you, that's who this is going to be. We're going to go a third time around with him. God fucking help this fan base. He signed what, a 10-year with us before? What year did he come in as a head coach? So I don't think those 10 years are up. I don't think we settled with him. I think we're still paying him. So if we're still paying him, which means he would still be technically he'd still be under contract, right? Because he resigned. We could just reenact that contract. I don't know how the legalities of that work. Carlos, help me out here. I don't if you're still watching. I don't know how the legalities of that would work. If that's even a thing. Where we would just continue paying him while he's coaching. I don't I honestly don't know how that would work. I'm sure that's a possibility, you know. What's the matter, Eric? I don't want Gruden. If that's what you're, don't get mad at me. I didn't say that's who I want. I don't know who I want, but it ain't him. I'm telling you, he's a redemption yapping. What do you mean yapping? Oh, you want to come on here and talk? I'll give you the link. You can come on. You can talk all you want, bro. I mean, you're the one watching me. I don't know what you want me to say, but dude, I'm on here alone. Who the fuck? What do you want me to just sit here and stare at the camera? I mean, I got to talk. What do you want me to do? Sometimes people, man, I don't know about people. Uh, I don't want Mike McCarthy. No, 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 no. No. I don't like him in Dallas either. I wouldn't want him here. Absolutely not. You know. I know. Trust me. I don't take offense to shit, dude. I'm too old for that nowadays. Just like, I don't need any new friends either. I mean, I'm in my 50s. I got all the friends I need. Now everybody's just an acquaintance. Although some people I've just met I will consider friends. But no, I don't want Mike McCarthy. I mean, you got to look at a short list of again. It's who wants to be involved in this, you know. So I mean, if I'm a little bit more calmed down now than I was about an hour and a half ago. I know Rundown was fucking heated when I got on. Oh my god, that's why I couldn't wait for him to bring me on the show with him because I felt his energy. I felt his just disgust. That, in all honesty, Ani, that might even be more than what we still owe him. To be honest with you, so no, I don't want to pay him 5 mil if it is him. Told you, let him fulfill the rest of his contract and go from there. You know, Eric, are you a Raiders fan or no? Or you just happen to walk upon this chat or this channel, the feed, whatever, the live? I think it's going to be Gruden, plain and simple. I can't see anybody else. That's what they're going to say. I just want more news out of this. I just want them to come out and say more as to why. Titans let their GM go. Oh, I just saw that fucking Zeke Elliott signed with the Chargers. Ugh. Guy should just hang it up. Let's see. Am I a fan? Yeah, I'm a fan of the Raiders. Yeah. All right, thanks, brother. Who are you a fan of, Eric Banks? What's your team that you follow? Let's just fucking see. He's like a Patriots fan or something. Which means he probably lives near me. I don't know who else is still in here watching. If you guys got any questions, comments, your own personal takes on what happened today, what you feel, what you know, what you see, who you think we should definitely interview, who do we don't want, who would we like? You know, like I said, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk free agent or draft right now because that's not even a priority in my eyes right now until we figure out what the fuck's going on. None of that matters at this point. You know, as of yesterday, I felt like it. Who else besides the Raiders? Are you asking who else I like besides the Raiders? Absolutely nobody. If you're asking me that, I don't have a second best team. No true Raider fan really has a second best team. I got players I like because of their style and if they, I'm familiar with them. He's got to be a Chiefs fan. Has to be. So he's a Mahomo fan. Kermit the Frog. Um, yeah, no respectful Raider fan has a second favorite team or, you know, someone else that they like. I'll follow a team. Like I'd like to see them win. Like the Lions, I'd love to see them win a Super Bowl. I think they've deserved it. They've earned it. That's why I want it to be Buffalo and Detroit in the Super Bowl because regardless of who wins, we're going to get somebody that's never won a Super Bowl. One of those teams has never been to a Super Bowl. You know, the other team tried 4 times in a row and lost all 4. So I'll follow a team like I'll root for them. Like in all honesty, I root for anybody that's playing against the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Patriots. Other than that, I could give a shit. So unless they all play each other. If they all play each other, I hope a sinkhole opens up, both teams get swallowed, and then it closes right back up and we move on. Game's done. It ends in a tie, and that's it. Yeah, he's gonna be silent. I don't think you're gonna hear anything from him. I would be shocked. Um, I don't think you're gonna hear anything from anybody. I don't expect Tom Brady to come out and say anything. I think if anybody comes out and explains why, it's going to be a shocker. Um, Yeah. You like the 49ers president? No, I don't like any of them. Not at all. Like I said, I like players. I'm fine with following players. But I don't follow another team like a second favorite team. Doesn't exist in my book. And like I said, that usually doesn't exist in a Raider fan book. I can't even tell you anybody that I know on a personal level that sits there and says, "Oh, they're my second favorite team." Or I'm a Raiders fan, but I'm also a so and so's fan. Then you're not a real Raider fan. You know, I'm not saying being a real Raider fan you have to have it tattooed on you and all that, which I do, but it's you either are a fan or you're not. Plain and simple. You follow the Raiders and you follow no one else. Once the playoffs start, and if we're not in it, yeah, you're gonna follow a team and want to see how they do. Do you think the Raiders will fire Antonio Pierce? Dude, it's already happened. So I'm not big into boxing anymore. I mean, I used to be way back, so I couldn't even give you a name of anybody that fights now. I have no clue. I know it ain't the Logan Paul brothers or the Paul brothers. Absolutely not. Fuck those guys. I don't even consider them boxers. Yeah, do you think the Raiders will fire Antonio Pierce? You must have just woke up, bro. Antonio Pierce just got fired like about 2 hours ago. Actually, probably a little bit more than that. So yeah, that's the whole reason I'm on right now. Uh, the Raiders fired Antonio Pierce, and now we're stuck with another void with this organization. Stuck in another crazy fucking carousel of coaches. I hope he does, Pigs. I really do. I hope he does. I hope he comes out and he doesn't hold any punches and says it like he needs to say it. You know how he feels though he was done an injustice. This is me saying this. I think he was done an injustice, and I'm sure he probably feels that way too. You know, as a human being and as a man, I would be embarrassed if I was him with the fact that what they allowed him to do yesterday with that press conference and then come back today and say, fuck you, you're out of here. After that, I would be extremely embarrassed with the way that they portrayed me if I was Antonio Pierce. Why they did this. Yeah, if you just got home, well, breaking news, dude. He got fired about 2.5 hours ago. Sorry. So that's been the talk of the town on YouTube and all the other chat programs and all the content creators jumping on fast this afternoon talking about it. Uh, let's see, what are the insiders are rating me? I haven't seen anything right now. I haven't seen anything at all yet. That's kind of why I got ESPN on the TV because NFL Network's just replaying the fucking Vikings game. Um, I got CBS Sports signed up on my computer. I got ESPN up on my computer too, the website. So I just keep refreshing everything to see what goes on, see if anything breaks. But I don't think we're going to see anything. And JP, no to Gruden, enough already. I agree. Yeah, again, I don't want him, but I think this is all lining up perfect if that's what their goal was, because I think this is who it's going to be. And I know Rundown said this earlier, and I know Leo said it in the chat when he was on Rundowns. So I'm not taking full credit for this. I saw what they said, and I agree with them 100% that I think this is the way that this is going to end up. It's going to fall down that path, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like the roundabout way that this is going to happen. First team Oakland Raiders, second team Raiders, third team. Arnie, that's my guy. Perfect way to word that, actually, to answer that question. Niners to whoever plays them. Yeah. Actually, I don't have as much hatred for the Niners because I'm not a West Coast guy. I didn't grow up in the Bay Area. Me living on the East Coast. Just like a lot of you guys probably don't hate the Patriots as much as I do. I'm sure you do because of the whole tuck rule bullshit. You know, but it means more for me living in New England, along with all my New England brethren that are part of the Booster Club and Raider Nation out here on the East Coast, how much we despise the Patriots. Um, and not so much because of just the tuck rule, but the obnoxious fucking Pats fans. How fans forget how bad they were for so long. And then, these newer fans that come that stop following the team that think that the Patriots were only a thing since Bill Parcells became the head coach. So from like 95 on, that's when the Patriots, some people think the Patriots only been around since like 2000 and forward. Now, people forget that the team's been around since 1960, just like the Raiders, but they were god awful, you know, and now they're god awful again. Excellent boxing. Yeah, I don't know enough boxing to even talk about it. No consistency for years, can't win that way. No, and this just shows it today. It just proves that point big time. Antonio Pierce has far more experience than Mayo. I'm more than confident he'll land somewhere and do well. I'm sure he will. I wouldn't be surprised if he probably takes a year off after all this bullshit. I mean, because what he had to deal with wasn't an easy deal. You know, he came in as an interim head coach at the end of the season, did very well as far as I'm concerned, um, turning the team around, making some changes, giving everybody hope going into this season, and then all it was for fucking nothing. It was a failed attempt right from the start because of starting Minshew. Yeah, and everybody would be like, "Well, Minshew beat the Ravens." Yeah, that's his only bright spot of the season. I think if O'Connell did start from the start of the season, things would be different. Um, and I think we also got lucky that we played Baltimore that early in the season. If we would have played them a few weeks later, they would have crushed us. Let's see. Crazy Jeff, crazy thoughts. Patrick Graham became our head coach. Now promote Rob Ryan. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I don't think Patrick Graham's going to stick around. He's not going to be part of this. He's been a part of this organization for too long now. He's going to be gone. He's not staying. Pats and Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys fans too. I just don't run into that many Cowboys fans. Again, living in New England, I deal with Pats fans all the fucking time. You know what it is with Pats fans? The season ends, and they go and they hang up their old Brady jerseys. They put them in the closet, and they don't touch them again until the season starts. Raider fans, wear our gear all year round. I wear my Raider t-shirts all year round. I wear my Raider hats all year round. You know, I don't I don't show that I'm not a Raiders fan anytime I walk out the door. So if I go somewhere, I'm a Raiders fan. At home I wear sleeveless shirts all the time, but my whole right arm is all tatted up for Raiders. So I take Raiders with me no matter where I go, even if I'm fucking bare ass, which isn't a pleasant sight. So don't even think about that. I read a Bleacher Report. There were two candidates they talked to before they fired Pierce, so that's the delay. Really? I haven't seen that. I'm not doubting you. I believe you. I'm just curious who they are. I'm willing to bet one of them probably was good. I would put money on that because wasn't he just in the area recently too? Again, I know I heard rumors that Vrabel was supposed to come in yesterday and talk with them, but I don't know. So it's 6:30 here my time. So I think I am going to hop off, get something to eat. I'm fucking starving. AP will be Giants DC next year at least. I wouldn't be surprised that if he does go back to the Giants organization, being a former player for that team. Um, you know what? All the luck to him. I hope he does do something like that. I don't want to see him be without a job. You know, But yeah, I think I'm gonna get off, grab something to eat, relax for a little bit, and then I will be back on tonight. Whether I'm on with the guys or not, I will be on. So Arnie, look for me. Um, check with Leo's channel and rundowns. If I do get on, it'll be on with them, but I will stream it on mine too. So check mine too. So if you see them pop on live before mine pops up, I will be here. I will be on. So anybody that's still here, I thank you very much for watching. Anybody that chimed in on the chat, I appreciate it. Um, let's just hope for good things going forward at this point. Nothing we can do about it at this point. What's done is done. AP is let go. He's no longer our head coach. Can't even say let's move on to the off season because we got to figure out what's going on with the head coach first, and then we'll move on to the off season. So until that time, and when that news breaks, I'm sure just like today, I know I'll be popping on. Everybody else will be jumping on too at some point when that news finally does break, but it ain't going to be anytime soon. Yeah, the Raiders fans are definitely year-round fans. There's no two ways about that. I will never deny that. Pats fans, I don't know how any other teams are. I just know from living in New England that as soon as the football season's over, Pats fans pull out their Celtics and Bruins stuff. And then once pitches and catches report for the Red Sox, that's it. Out comes the Red Sox stuff and the whole vicious cycle of them crying about their team starts because the Red Sox suck and this, that. So, yeah, come live in New England. It's fun. Not only do we have cold weather, but we've also got fair weather fans around here, too. Was it Gruden or Bill O'Brien? For what? I don't know your question. Was it Gruden or Bill O'Brien? I don't want either one of them. But on that note, Arnie, thanks for chiming in like you always do. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate your support. Anybody that's here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. So whenever I'm on, you'll see that I'm on. And I love having everybody on here and interacting. Appreciate seeing everybody again later on tonight. So until then, go Raiders. You're welcome.